Welcome back. In this video we will learn about various types of data types in Apex, but before that let's learn what is data type. So the data type of a value is an attribute that tells what kind of data that value can have, or we can say that it specifies the type of data that a variable can store, such as integer, string, boolean, etc. So what is the type of data which we are going to store in that variable is defined by the data type which we are using. And we also know that Apex is a strongly typed programming language. So if you are using a data type integer and are trying to store a string in that integer, then Apex will give you an error. So this is the definition of data type. Now let's learn what are various data types provided by Apex programming language or by Salesforce. So first of all, there are some primitive data types which are as follows, like integer, double, long, string, boolean, etc. So these are some primitive data types. Now the second point is here, what there is a type of there is a term called collection. So what is collection? So we can say that collection is used to represent a set of similar data types. So if you want to store number of records for a same data type, then we can use a collection. So suppose if you want to store the name of various students, then you can use string to store the name of one student, and you can have a list of string to store the name of n number of students. So this is the meaning of collection, which means we are trying to store n number of information of similar data type. Now there is a special type which is called S object, which is provided by Salesforce itself. So we have, in one of our videos, we have discussed about objects which are provided by Salesforce itself, which are called a standard object, like account, contact, leads, or opportunities. These are the objects which are provided by Salesforce itself, and we can also create some object in the Salesforce which are also called as custom objects. So we will learn about this in great detail in upcoming videos. After that, let's learn about some of the primitive data types. So first of all, let's learn about boolean. So we have a data type called booleans, which is used to store either true or false. So let's create a boolean data type, and let's print the value of it. So for that, we have to log into our Salesforce org. After that, click on the setup icon and then click on developer console. So I have already opened it. Now we can write our code by creating a Apex class from here, file, new Apex class, or we can go to debug, open, execute anonymous window. So we can write the code here and can try. If it works, then we will save it in our Apex classes. So let's create a data type of boolean. So as I have already written, boolean is winner true. So let me copy this from here and let's paste this. So we have created a data type called boolean. So this is a data type of data which we are going to store in this variable. So name of the variable is winner, and the value which we are providing is true. So let's print this value. So for printing the value, we have to write system dot debug, and then after that we have to give the value, the name of the variable in this brackets is winner, and after that please click on open log and then execute. So it will execute and open the log, and if here a lot of things are shown here. So if you want to see the value, the outputs of system debug, then you can click on debug only and you can see true is printed here. Let's change the value of this, and let's see false can be printed or not. So I am assigning false to is winner, which means it is not a winner. So let's execute this code and see if the value is the value which will be printed in the console will be false. So the value of is winner will be false. Execute. Again click on debug only and see the value which is false. So this is a data type of which is a boolean and used to store true or false. Now the next data type in the list is integer. So here if you want to store numbers without a fraction or without a decimal, then we can use the integer to store them. So let's store a integer also. Let me remove this. Integer sum equals to 10. So the type of data type is integer and the variable name is sum, and we are assigning a value 10. Now let's print this value, system dot debug, and then the name of the variable sum. And please don't forget to have a semicolon after every statement in Apex programming language. So if you don't write semicolon, then it will throw an error. So yeah, it is saying that unexpected column. So we have to write this and then execute. Now let's see if the value is printed or not. So you can see that 10 is printed here. Now there is a limit of what is the maximum value which we can insert in integer type of data. So here the maximum value is this. So let's copy this value and try to insert some try to insert this value. So this is the maximum value which we will, okay, we have to remove the commas here. Let's execute. So the value has been stored in the variable and it has been printed. So if we try to store a number greater than this, then it will give an error. So let's make it 8 and execute, and you see illegal integer because the maximum limit has been reached. Now the next type of data type is decimal, which is used to store decimal values. After that we have one more data type which is double, and instead of using decimal we can use double because it has extra limit. So let's create a variable of type double, and let's see how it works. So let me remove this. Double pi equals to 3.141239. so this is the value of pi, and let's print this, execute. And you can see the value of pi here. Now let's try storing a decimal value in an integer. So let's remove this and let's try it to store the decimal value in an integer, and let's see what is the behavior of this. So let's execute, and this it is giving us an error. We are trying to store a decimal number into an integer, so it is throwing us an error. We can't do that, or we have to cast it. So we have to change the value, and then it might work. Now let's see. You can see that it has worked, but it might have removed the digits after the decimal point. It will only show 3 because we have tried to store 3.141239, but it is giving us an error. So we try to change the data type of this value to integer. So after changing the data type, the compiler removes the part after the decimal digit and only stores 3 in the variable, and then print it. So this is the behavior when it comes to casting. Now we have one more which is long. Now it has some extra we can say extra range. So in integer the range is low, but in long we get more higher range. So if we want to store the number which we are previously storing, so let me get to that number. So this is the number which is giving us error because it is giving us illegal integer because the range has been closed. So let's try to store it in the long, and let's see if it is stored or not. Again it is giving an illegal integer because we haven't added L after it. So when you try to store a big number into a long, you have to write L after the number and execute, and you see it worked. and you are able to store a greater number in a long. So if you know that the number which you are going to store in a variable will be small, then you can use integer, and if you know that a variable will be large enough, then you should go to long, so you can't get an error in implementation. Now string, so string is used to store names. So let's store string name equals to Shubham Lashkan. So if you want to store characters, then you can use string. Oh, I have to write name here, otherwise it will give an error. Now let's execute, and you will see my name will be printed. So it is printed. So these are various data types, which primitive data types which we have discussed in this video. In the next video we will discuss about other data types which are remaining, and we will also discuss some of the data type when we are implementing actual codes. When we will require the data type, then we will learn the data types at that point only. So that's it in this video. Thank you very much, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you have any query, then please reach out to me on my Twitter handle @Shubham Lashkan. Thank you very much.